Greetings everyone. Dear aspirants, welcome to this series of international relations. Dear aspirants, this series of international relations will help you in upcoming prelims 2026. In this series, we will discuss all the key international organizations or bodies from prelims perspective. And in this first session, we will discuss three important international organizations or bodies. First is Gulf Cooperation Council, second is BRICS, and third is Quad. Right? Now, let's begin with the first international body, that is Gulf Cooperation Council. Right? So here, first thing you have to remember that certain key aspects of international bodies, right, you must remember every time. First is establishment year, its headquarters, right? Apart from that, its members. And about members, you have to remember one thing: if the number of members is between, right, or under 20, then you must remember all the members name. But if goes beyond 20, for example 30, 50, 100, then don't remember the name of all the members. It is not possible, right? So simply remember whether India is member or not, right? If it goes beyond 20, right? Now, so what is Gulf Cooperation Council? First is Gulf. It is also called as Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf, and also known as Gulf Cooperation Council. So what is it? It is a regional, intergovernmental, political and economic union and military alliance. So you can see it has covered each and every aspect, whether it is intergovernmental, political, economic or military aspect. Clear? Second, it was established on 25th May 1981. What happened? That on this date, means 25th May 1981, the Charter of Gulf Cooperation Council was signed, and that's why this date is considered as the date of establishment of GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. Clear? Headquarter, its headquarter is located in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Clear? Official language Arabic. Clear? UPSC may confuse you that the official language of Gulf Cooperation Council is Persian or Turkish. So be very clear that the official language of GCC is Arab. Clear? Arabic. Next, members. So it has 6 members, and there is one exception and very notable point that you have to remember, that 6 members are Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE. But very notable point that Iraq is not the member of Gulf Cooperation Council. Clear? And here is a trap, right? And UPSC, such type of statements are the favorite statement of UPSC. It may trap you that Iraq is member of GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. You have to remember that Iraq is not the member of Gulf Cooperation Council. Clear? Next, all current members are monarchies, right? All the members, right? All the 6 members are monarchies, and out of 6 states, 3 are constitutional monarchies, right? Though they are monarchies, but they have constitution, and these countries are Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain. Clear? 2 absolute monarchies, Saudi Arabia and Oman. Clear? And 1 federal monarchy, that is UAE. Clear? So out of 6 member states, right, means all member states are monarchies, but 3 are constitutional monarchies, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain. 2 absolute monarchies, Saudi Arabia and Oman, and 1 federal monarchy, that is UAE. Clear? And there has been discussion regarding the future membership of Jordan, Morocco and Yemen, but they are not member of GCC. It has only 6 members, but there is discussion that they should be included or they should be given the membership of Gulf Cooperation Council, right? Next, and here you can remember it through the symbols, right? Next, aims and objectives. So what is the aim? So we have seen that it is a political, economic, military alliance, right? Intergovernmental, political, economic, military alliance. So it promotes coordination, integration and unity among member states. Clear? So whenever a group of states come together, obviously one of the main purposes to bring unity, right? Strengthen relations in economic, financial, trade, customs, tourism, legislation and administrative fields. right? Next, establishes a common market and eventually a monetary union. Clear? So mainly, let's see, most of the international organizations, bodies have certain common purpose. First is economic purpose, political purpose. Second is political purpose, right? Another purpose is security, or you can say military purpose. Clear? So generally they come together on most of these aspects: social, sorry, political, economic, or military aspect, right? Key functions: Supreme Council, right? Here, head of states meets annually. There means all the head of states meet in this council known as Supreme Council. Second, Ministerial Council and Secretariat handles day-to-day work. Okay? Second, Common External Tariff and Custom Union. It was established in 2003. Okay? Next, again very important, Gulf Cooperation Council Common Market. It was established in 2008. Right? And here, freedom of free movement of goods, capitals, and labor. That's why it is called as GCC Common Market. Okay. Next, the Peninsula Shield Force. Yes, you have to remember, right? And it is the military arm of the Gulf Cooperation, right? Again, such type of statements may be given by UPSC. That Peninsula Shield Force is related to which of the following? You have to take Gulf Cooperation. Clear? Next, recent developments in last 2 years, 2024 to 2000, means first half of, or you can say beginning of 2026, right? So 44th GCC summit, it was held in Doha, right? 45th summit of GCC, it was held in Kuwait, right? And focused on regional security and economic diversification. So focus is, we have already discussed, so mostly focus would be the same, but you have to remember the summit and location, right? Next, improved relations with Iran and normalization talks with Israel. And mostly you would be knowing about the Abraham Accord when we will discuss other international organization, and especially the Israel and Iran issue. That time we will discuss about Abraham Accord. Clear? Next, active role in Red Sea security and Yemen peace process. Okay. Next, what is the vision? Vision 2030 alignment, especially Saudi Arabia and UAE economic diversification. Clear? Next, again very important, that GCC have free trade agreement with these following countries. You have to remember, right? So these are the countries with, means Gulf Cooperation Council has free trade agreements with these following countries. First is European Free Trade Association, and it includes 4 countries: Iceland, like, right, Norway, Switzerland, these 4 countries. Fourth, another Singapore, right, South Korea, New Zealand. Means, so Gulf Cooperation Council have free trade agreement with these countries. You can remember the name of these countries, right? In total there are 7, and discussion is being going on, right, with other countries, but focus on the current status, right? The process is going on, let it be, but remember what has been done, what has been finalized. Next, is Quad. So it includes 4 countries: India, US, Japan, Australia. Clear? And the main purpose of Quad is to counter China, right? So as I said, it is also known as Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, right? In short, it is called Quad. So grouping of, already we have discussed, Australia, India, Japan, and US, and is maintained by talk between member countries. Clear? Establishment first proposed in 2007, right? In 2007 it was proposed, but what happened that in 2008, right, this was ceased. Why? Because of, because means in 2008 Australia withdrew, right, and that's why it became almost dead, right? But again in 2017 it revived, right? revived in ASEAN summit, where leaders of 4 countries, means India, Australia, US, Japan, right, met in ASEAN summit, right, in 2017, and there again Quad was revived, right. So you can see that almost for 10 years it ceased, and again in 2017 it revived, and currently it has, means it exists. Now, format. It is an informal strategic forum. Informal strategic forum means it is not a formal alliance, and not for, and as it is a not formal alliance, it does not have any secretariat, right? So membership we have already discussed. No need to discuss, right? And again I am repeating, there is no secretariat of Quad. Why? Because it is not a formal alliance. Clear? Next, aims and objectives. Obviously, as I said, that the main purpose behind Quad is to counter the expansionist policy of China, right? So, promote a free, open, inclusive, and rule-based Indo-Pacific region. First intention or aim. Second, ensures maritime security, supply chain resilience, and counter coercion. So, mainly coercion of China, right? Next, cooperate on climate change, health security, critical and emerging technologies. Critical and emerging technologies, for example, cyber related technologies, rare earth elements, right? Other emerging technologies. Clear? Next, key functions. So, here, annual leader summit every year. There is a summit of the leaders of Quad countries, right? Every year it is conducted, and ministerial and working group meetings on, for example, on vaccines, maritime domain awareness, infrastructure, semiconductor, clean energy, etc. Practical deliverables, Quad vaccine partnership, especially during COVID time, right? Indo-Pacific partnership for maritime domain awareness, right? In short, IPMDA. Quad critical and emerging technology forum. Okay. Next, recent development in last 2 years, right? So, Quad Leaders Summit 2024, 2025, clear? Means in 2024 and 25, Quad Leaders Summit were held. Again, focused on supply chain resilience and maritime security. Clear? Next, launch of Quad Cancer Moonshoot and Quad Investor Networks. Right? These are the 2 initiatives that has been launched in last 2 years. Right? This Quad Cancer Moonshoot and Quad Investors Network. Okay? Second, emphasis on countering China's assertiveness without naming it directly. Yes. So it, though it does not name China directly, but the main intention behind it to counter China's assertiveness, right? Expansionist policy of China. But it does not direct, remember that it does not reveal the name of China directly, right? Next is BRICS. So you have to remember that initially, right, in 2009, it had only 4 members: Brazil, Russia, India, China. But what happened that in 2010, South Africa joined it and it became BRICS. Clear? But currently in 2026, it has 10 countries, right? So as of now, BRICS has 10 members, right? So 10 members are Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, right? You already know the name of 5, but remember the new 5s: Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. Clear? Right? And the newest member is UAE, which joined BRICS in January 2024. Right? And headquarter, you have to remember, there is no permanent headquarter or secretariat of BRICS. Right? So you have to remember that whether it is BRICS or Quad, both have no secretariat or headquarter. Clear? Right? And they have, or it has, a rotating chairmanship. Right? Rotating chairmanship means 1 year Brazil will chair it, another year Russia, next year India, next to next year China, again next after that South Africa, and it is on rotational basis, right? For example, this year, right, India is going to chair BRICS summit, right? And that's why BRICS is very important. Clear? So aims and objectives: promote economic cooperation among major emerging economies. So obviously the members are major emerging economies, like for example India, Brazil, all these are emerging economies. China, emerging economies, right? Reform global governance institutions, for example UN, IMF, WTO, right? These emerging economies are demanding reforms in such international organizations, right? Strengthen south-south cooperation. So if you see the world map, you will find that these countries lie in the southern part of world, right, in the southern hemisphere. So to bring or to strengthen south-south cooperation. Clear? Next, so functions, key functions of BRICS: annual leaders summit, and it is hosted on the basis of or rotational basis, right? Very important body, new development bank, right? You have to remember about the new development bank, and it is what, under BRICS. So here headquarters is in Shanghai, China, and it provides infrastructure and sustainable development funding. Clear? So from the name it is clear that it is a development bank, right? And it provides funding for mainly for infrastructure and sustainable development, right? For example, any project that is related to environment or sustainable project, right? Apart from that, also infrastructures are there. Clear? Next, contingent reserve arrangement. What is it? It is a financial safety net. Next, BRICS Business Council and Academic Forum. These are the key organizations, right, or units, you can say, under BRICS. And one of them, or the most important, is new development. Clear? Next, recent development in last 2 years. So 16th BRICS summit, it was held in 2024, where Kazan, Russia. 17th BRICS summit 2025, Brazil. And as I said earlier, that this year 18th BRICS summit is scheduled for 2026 in India, and that's why from prelims perspective BRICS is very important. Why? Because this year the BRICS summit will be hosted by India, right? And it is the 18th BRICS summit. Clear? Growing emphasis on BRICS plus outreach and alternative payment mechanisms. So mainly to reduce the dominance of dollar, American dollar, right? They are searching for another options, right? So in this session we have discussed three important bodies: first, Gulf Cooperation Council; second, Quad; and third, BRICS. We will continue this series in next lecture. Thank you.